Did someone say garden? Okay, we're just gonna take that off because I am already collecting sweat, and that is also what? Insane. Hi everybody, what is up guys? It is here, the first Monday in May, which means it is the video of all videos. Aside from Coachella, Met Gala is probably one of my most requested outfit roasts. Now the theme for this Met Gala is Sleeping Beauty's reacting on the fashion.
Can you say magnetic? Just keep going.
Reawakening Fashion, which is also the name of the corresponding Metropolitan Museum of Art Costume Institute exhibit. That was a mouthful. Vogue said that this theme doesn't mean like Sleeping Beauty as in like the Brothers Grimm or Disney, but more so like the celebration of clothing that can no longer be worn ever again because it's so fragile, and are thus Sleeping Beauties in archives around the world. Just so poetic. Now on top of the theme, the dress code is Garden of Life, hence why I started the video looking like Ina Garten on shrooms. But the Garden of Time was inspired by J.G. Ballard's short story where a count and a countess live in a utopian villa and have like a very lush garden. A lot of people have asked me who I really think is gonna like pop off this year, and I have no idea because there is no need to hold people to expectations because you only end up what? Disappointed. If I had to predict anything, I think a majority of looks are gonna fall under two different categories. One, people trying to dress for the dress code being Garden of Time. So I think we're gonna see a lot of like plants and flowers and maybe some airy looks. I swear to God, if someone isn't in an inflatable sumo suit from Halloween Spirit, I'm gonna be pissed. But also like animal prints and things like that. So I think there's gonna be like a whole nature side of the red carpet. However, I think the girls who get it are gonna really come knocking hard on the reawakening fashion aspect. I'm expecting people to be in like a lot of sheers, maybe some distressed and disintegrating outfits I think would be really neat. Or what I'm personally most scared of is people making direct references to pieces that can no longer be worn because they're in an archive. I am not great at clocking fashion references, considering that my brain has reached a level of rot that even scientists are astounded by. But I do think that this Met Gala has potential to really wow us all, and I swear to God, I hope I do not eat these words. So girls, please make like my Domino's driver last night and deliver. Now before we get into the roast, I just want to say that this is all meant in fun and jest and the name of comedy. I'm just having fun talking shit. It's not that deep, guys. Will I understand the reference to all of these? No. Will I understand the reference to half of these? Probably still no. Girls, we're here for a good time, not a long time. I am going to be doing an additional few looks on Patreon, patreon.com/Chris Klemens. And I also want to say this weekend I'm going to be in Chicago with Two Hot Takes. I'm joining a few of their tour stops, so be sure to check out my link tree down below. There's still tickets left to Chicago and New York. Very few though, so you don't want to miss it. Alright guys, it's time to join the wait staff at the Met Gala because we're serving roast. That was so dumb. Girls, take your seats. People have started arriving to the red carpet. The garden party is starting because looks are trickling in. First up, we have Leonardo Del Vecchio and Jessica Serfati.
Hi, Fatty.
Mikel. I am so sorry if I am pronouncing those wrong. I am in fact not a tour guide of whatever Italian museum this apparently is. Wow, that is what they are wearing, and I suddenly don't feel bad at all. I'm sorry, he just looks like the person who is having the best time at the frat party. And then she is at the Met Gala in aviators. We're gonna look past the aviators and also the hair because apparently she looked past the hair as well. Like, babe, come on, you couldn't have even used a straight iron? There's nothing about this dress that's giving Sleeping Beauty, mostly because this dress looks quite literally the opposite of fragile. I wouldn't be shocked to find out that this dress is bulletproof. That being said, it's absolutely disgusting. I'm so sorry to be starting this out on such a horrible note, but like, come on. Why does this look like a Taylor Swift Eras Tour outfit drawn by memory? This looks so bad. Like, come on, give me a $500 gift card to Michael's, a hot glue gun, and an Adderall, and I will give you something far chicer than this. It's giving 5-minute crafts. Okay, I've got to move on. Next up, we have Gwendolyn Christie, and she looks beautiful, and I think this might be one of those references I won't know until afterwards and then feel stupid about. And then on the other hand, I don't really get garden from this. If anything, I'm getting like Marie Antoinette tea party that might be in a garden. But I have to say, there's a whole vision. She looks phenomenal, and I'm here for it. I like it. Do I think it matches the theme? Literally not at all. Does it match the dress code? I still don't think so, but she looks gorgeous, and compared to the last person, the bar is already starting off so low, so go off, Gwendolyn Christie. Next up, we have a waste of time. Oh, I'm sorry. Chris Hemsworth. Okay, normally I would roast a white man for wearing a basic suit. However, Chris Hemsworth is one of the co-chairs of this motherfucker Gala. I'm sorry, but if you're a co-chair for the Met Gala and you roll up looking like this, you should not only be denied access into the event, but you should be shot in the forehead. Okay, maybe that's a little far. Chris Hemsworth, you are not a sight for Thor eyes. This is just disgusting. Like, fuck off. Anyways, we're gonna get past this real quick. I'm Australian and I'm hot, therefore the bar is so low for me. Go suck on Thor's wrench. Or whatever Thor carries. Next up we have Bad Bunny, another co-chair for this event. And hey, Chris Hemsworth, how you doing, mate? Take note, please. I'm loving the vision Bad Bunny is giving. I don't really understand how it equates to Sleeping Beauties or a garden party. But based off of Gwendolyn Christie and him coming with a full vision, I'm starting to think that maybe I don't understand the assignment. In terms of the outfit, I'm obsessed with waist up and the shoes. The pants? Bad Bunny. Take away the bunny. The pants are just bad. Never mind. Take that out. I thought that they were black with a blue top. It's all navy. Okay. Much better. Still hate the red stripe. But like this little Pillsbury Doughboy Lord Farquaad hat with these glasses and the Margiela of it all, I really like. I love it, in fact. I feel like going with Margiela for this Met Gala was a really smart idea because a lot of Margiela stuff is already kind of deconstructed or distressed or disintegrating. And this is kind of giving across the vibe of like fragile clothing. The seams are coming undone. And Bad Bunny, what is that? My zipper's coming? No, Chris, stop. Next up, we have the reason for the season, Anna Wintour. And oh my god, we're both wearing LYFT. That's so embarrassing. One of us has to change. You, Anna. You. It's really incredible how she continues to stay just blander than curdled milk. I want to like this look because it's LYFT and I love LYFT. I would like to LYFT this goodbye. It's really not giving anything special. I like the outer coat and then it wasn't just a bunch of flowers and put on there. But like if you took away the flowers, she looks like she is either attending a funeral or applying to become a high priestess. It's fine because it's LYFT. Next up we have Emma Chamberlain, who is in custom Jean Paul Gaultier, which I think is referencing like a 2003 couture collection. There's flowers and nature motifs on the dress and in the lace that tie back to obviously the Garden of Time dress code. But even if you can't clock the reference, this feels like something that is so archival and from a different time and that looks very fragile. It's the way I would fart and rip a hole in this. Next up, we have the one and only Zendaya, who is also a co-chair of this year's Met Gala. Again, the way that this feels like of a different time, yet very modernly reconstructed. Okay, hear me out. Does this not look like Zendaya took part in a RuPaul's Drag Race Maxi Challenge and had a hot glue gun, maybe 2 even on hand? Like, does this look great? Absolutely. It's Zendaya, of course it does. Does it look like she was also just safe in the challenge? Yeah. Does she also look like she could be at the Capitol in Hunger Games? Maybe. All right, next up we have J-Lo, who is the 4th and final co-chair of this year's Met Gala. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really love J-Lo's dress in this. I think that this dress is gorgeous, and I can't believe I'm saying that about a dress that J-Lo is wearing. But to me, this feels like a dress that was found and wasn't archived or stored correctly, and there's just some holes anywhere, and I think that this is really exceptional for J-Lo. I think the shoulders are really interesting and fascinating to look at. And then I have to mention the rest. Why does it look like that on the top of your head at the Met Gala that you are a co-chair of? Babe, I know it's a humid day in New York today. This is crazy. It is a bummer that her hair looks so busted. Next up, we have Matt Damon and his wife, which I really should know her name and not his because, I mean, I really should know either of their names. What in the wedding is happening? Are you guys getting married? Excuse me, to the guy who executed Chris Hemsworth at the door. I've got your next one. Another one. Thank you. When will basic tuxes get banned from the Met? Crazy how Matt Damon went from Born Identity to Bored Identity. Next up, we have Harry and Jill Kargman. I'm really just starting to feel like this theme is Victorian with a mix of the Capitol from Hunger Games. Like, am I even really seeing a theme in this, or do I just know the theme and I'm trying to connect dots where I can? Jill is giving very gothic garden party, and I kind of love it. I do think that it does look a little tacky. I do think that she has like a vision going on. I just do think she needs the assistance of like LASIK. And then we get to Harry, and this feels, I mean, a little bit better than a tux. He's just giving me like, where's my chariot? We have to go to the opera. You know? No, that's okay. I don't either. I don't know. I just don't feel like many people are following a theme, and I feel like I'm about to throw my back out trying to reach for these people. Next up, we have Derek Blasberg, and Derek, you look like Asperg. Yeah, I can't believe someone who was once the head of fashion at YouTube is wearing this to a Met Gala. And then the twink next to him gets the same ruling, just in navy. I guess I am sort of seeing sleeping beauties now. I'm seeing two beauties who need to be put to sleep. Next up, we have Gustav Magner Witzo. When I first saw this, I really loved it because I didn't see a tux anywhere in sight. However, now seeing it without fresh eyes, a lot of this is giving Spirit Halloween. Are those Toms? Oh, not the Toms. Well, at least some kid in Africa got a pair of shoes out of this look. I'm sorry if I'm missing a reference of some beauty that is sleeping and wants to be reawakened. This is looking more like the movie 300 cosplay than it is any sort of fashion reference. It took a lot of courage to probably wear Toms to the Met. Next up, we have Leah Michelle, who's doing herself no favor with the not able to read rumors, because I don't think she read the theme of this Met Gala. I'm sorry, but it looks like she's going to a maternity shoot because she just found out the little onion growing in her stomach as a boy. I've literally seen pregnancy shoots that look more on theme than this does. This looks cheap. It looks like it was made this year in a factory in China, but at least she put on flowers for the garden. I'm getting garden, babe. Kindergarten. Next up, we have Mindy Kaling. I would not say that she is Kaling it. I think that this is really beautiful. It fits her gorgeously. She looks great in it. I don't understand one hint of garden. It really is a bummer. This is one of the few times Mindy Kaling has actually served because it's just so off theme. I guess this is maybe like the airiness of the garden. You know how I was saying in the intro, some people might do airiness. This isn't the sumo suit I wanted, but it looks great. It just doesn't make sense. Actually, after looking at it enough, I will say that I am getting garden. It is Olive Garden, but it's garden nonetheless. You cannot tell me this doesn't look like unlimited pasta. I don't know where the red sauce is, but can we get some, waiter? Next up, we have Seth Meyers and Alexi Ash, I believe is her name. Guide the front doors, another one. I mean, standing next to Seth Meyers, his wife looks like a mastermind. But that being said, it looks like the bottom of her dress had glue on it and she walked through the cheapest chicken feathers Michaels had to offer. And then if you take away that little arts and crafts trip at Michaels, it's just a plain dress from JCPenney. And the hair! I mean, get it? Away from me. Next up, we have Andy Cohen and Sarah Jessica Parker. I think Sarah Jessica Parker looks phenomenal. I do also feel like she came directly from the Kentucky Derby. I mean, this has to be a reference to some garment because she is like the queen of New York. She can't just be coming here in a random but pretty dress. Like, that just can't be. Andy Cohen straight up looks homophobic. Hey, Andy, look me straight in my dead eyes. What the f is this? What the f is this? You sit in between groups of housewives on the daily. You practically own Bravo. And this is what you wore? Death to all of them! Oh. Next up, we have Wendy Murdoch. The only reawakening this dress is giving me is that it was bought from Skims and I wore it as my pajama dress and I woke up in it. I'm not joking. Take away the little shoulder bead bonanza and all you have is a dress that I'm pretty sure Skims is selling in their like women's Valentine's shop, Bebop. If Wendy Murdoch is like of the Murdoch family, I'm gonna be so mad. You have every money. You have every money. You have all the money and all the connections in the world and you came in the Skims Valentine's Day shop. Next up, we have Raw Alejandro, and I don't know if suddenly I'm looking at pictures from the VMA's red carpet. What is happening? Okay, here's the bar. Ignore what this is, okay? Black tuxes, this outfit. Thank you for your service, little bar. Like, does he look hot and sexy? Absolutely, he looks phenomenal. I feel crazy getting worked up over what some rich person wore to some rich event. I realize how dumb it is in the grand scheme of everything. But if you want to look hot on a red carpet, there's approximately 98 other events in the year that you can do that on. You're at the Met Gala. Next up, we have Ambika Mod, and I love this Loewe dress. I remember seeing this when it first came out and thinking, what a fun, gorgeous dress. And I know that it is probably nodding to some sort of dress or garment that existed in a previous time. However, this feels like a very simple, easy way out of it. I understand that not everybody gets custom-made looks for the Met Gala. And if you're gonna pull a runway dress, I think this is a great one to do for this theme. I just feel like this would be better at like the Oscars or the Grammys or the Golden Globes. Will I take it in the sea of 5-minute crafts and black tuxes? Absolutely. Next up, we have Alton Mason. There will never be a time where Alton Mason doesn't just absolutely smack me across the face and have my full undivided attention. He is in Tom Brown, and mother do I want those shoes, those pants, and that jacket, and that body, and that face. Yeah, okay. I just want to be Alton Mason. if it weren't for the comforter that smartly lined the back of the jacket, this wouldn't really be giving me a whole lot. I think he looks phenomenal, and I think it looks phenomenal on him. However, it does just feel like we put a comforter motif on the train. Speaking of comforters, I would love to just be in bed right now. Next up, we have Ayo Edebiri, and here she is with that invite that says Garden of Time. This is very basic. I don't think it's anything special. I think it's beautiful on her. I will say till the day I die, I hate this fucking neckline. This neckline works 1% of the time. Is 1% of the time in the room with us right now? No, she is not. This dress feels more appropriate like a Mother's Day brunch than it does right now on the Met Gala carpet. I think she looks beautiful, and I am always rooting for her. Would have loved just almost anything else. Next up, we have John O'Connor. I just saw Challengers. He makes me a little damp downtown, so I've got to get through this one quick. I don't know where I stand on this one, and I think Pretty Privilege is really outweighing the scales on this one. I think that this black tux might be the one exception I have tonight. I'm sorry, the way that those two pieces of fabric come down as the train, the way that this makes me want to get on Ozempic, become rail thin, and exclusively wear this outfit is disgusting, quite frankly. I understand that if you took away those two little trains, this would just be a black tux. I hear it. The boots being a bedazzled Loewe, like Chelsea boot, really is so hot, and I think is a fun twist to the whole garden thing. This is a very, like, middle of the road outfit, almost teetering onto boring. God, I'm sorry, but those little coattails are just like this guy. I want to ride them. Oh, that. Next up, we have Dan Levy, who is serving Bushwick Gay Goes to a Wedding. My back seems to have healed and my scoliosis seems to be gone because I am reaching again, but I feel like this is really beautiful, and I sort of see the play on Reawakening Beauty in terms of this pattern fading away into the top and becoming bland and boring. I don't know if that was the idea, but I am sort of seeing that, like, if you don't properly preserve garments, they will fade into nothingness and lose the beauty of it. I feel like out of everything we've seen, this is very fine. You know, it's thanks, Dan. Next up, we have Donald Glover. And I know this has nothing to do with the Met Gala theme, but why does it not look like he'd be able to ride the bumper cars at a state fair? I don't know if the fit of the suit and the color and all of this is supposed to evoke like a different time period, but I'm not getting like a direct reference to anything here. It honestly just looks like an ill-fitting suit that like UPS gives its workers in case two of them end up getting married and they all have to go to a wedding. I'm so sorry to Donald Glover. You are so talented in so many ways. This is not one of the ways. Next up, we have Jamie Dornan, and yes, you little 1980s finance Wall Street bro, you better raise those stocks or something. I'm not really seeing the vision here at all regarding a garden. If anything, it's giving Garden of Eden where the first sin took place, this being the first sin. It's crazy he was 50 Shades of Grey because this is 50 Shades of meh. I can't believe what I'm about to say, but I'd prefer a black tux. Next up, we have Tyla, and I think her outfit in the context of the theme is really interesting. This is one of the dresses that I feel like was supposed to be a reference. Like, in 50 years, you will not be able to wear this dress because it was made specifically for her and probably will fall apart by then. There's something about that that I find really interesting, and I don't feel like I'm really even reaching. Like, the scoliosis feels great. I wouldn't say it feels great, but you get the gist. I don't know. I think for her first Met Gala, it works, and I think it's really cool, and I'm sure that this dress will actually probably start falling apart by the time she leaves. I just know if I was her, I would have rather been in Turks and Caicos than this because in both scenarios, she has sand up her ass, and I'd rather be on a beach with a daiquiri in my hand. Next up, we have Sabrina Harrison, and this absolutely stunning and breathtaking. I'm assuming that this is Schiaparelli, and this is just truly a work of art. I'm really starting to think that people thought that there were two different themes, Garden of Time or Sleeping Beauties, because I'm definitely getting Garden of Time with this dress. I mean, not through any sort of floral motif, but because of the 90,000 watch faces I see staring at me. This almost looks like a Gustav Klimt painting. Like, it is so beautiful, and I don't even know or care if it fits the theme because I think that this is just truly a work of art. I do have to ask though, do you get ESPN with that? Next up we have Jordan Roth, and I really do see the vision and I like this risk being taken. Unfortunately, it just looks very cheap and almost looks like a ghillie suit. Like you could literally blend in with anybody's hedges with this. I don't know, I feel like if the craftsmanship was a little more polished, this would have a much more impacting effect. It unfortunately just looks like a bunch of gum placed on a subway pole. Next up we have Madeline Klein, and I feel inclined to speed right through this because this is really just so boring, so simple, so not steamed. What is that about? Here I am sitting thinking that my curtains aren't steamed enough for this video. Meanwhile, these curtains look like they got steamed and pressed compared to this. What is happening? I mean, don't get me wrong, she looks phenomenal. You could put her in a grocery store dumpster and she would look phenomenal. I just feel like so many outfits we're seeing tonight are a basic dress and a bunch of fabric roses glued on. It's okay, Chris. Soon this will be over and you will be stoned. Next up we have Zoe Saldana and Noe Saldana. What the is this? This looks like that she had a Chloe ad campaign at 5 and the Met Gala at 6. This should be denied entry. I'm shocked. I've had friends dress more on theme for this Met Gala for a birthday dinner than this outfit could ever be. What? Oh my god, I need every piece of email correspondence that led to this, if any. Next up we have Coleman Domingo, and I think that this might be one of the very few times that this man disappoints me on a red carpet. Maybe the only time. I'm starting to think that I am ignorant when it comes to fragile archival men's suits, because I'm not getting anything here. I understand that the flowers are the nod to the garden of time. The only garden I'm getting is Ina Garten, as in short and stout. It looks like someone stretched him in one direction and forgot to stretch him in the other. It just is really shocking. It's just really shocking, honestly. I really do like the sleeves and the pants. I just feel like the proportions are preposterous. I fear that the proportions are preposterous. Next up we have Michael Arden. Oh, okay. Totally. I think he is so on theme. If the theme was Duck Dynasty. That's all that I'm gonna say. Next up we have Alex Sharp. I don't know who you are. I don't know how this even ties into the theme, but I love this. You know what? If you're not gonna give us a theme, give us at least a good look, a good outfit. The need that I feel coursing through my veins to have this in my closet is frightening. I think that this is so fun, so cool, so sick without being too kitschy. I mean, and on top of all of that, he is keeping not one but two eyes out for Selena. He's got the mind of a mastermind. But for real, I don't think this has anything to do with the theme. But listen, I will take a look. And there may be another one because I love this suit. Next up we have James Scorden and his wife, and I think that this is Next up we have Wisdom Kai, I literally don't know. I need to just strictly stare at this. I'm like shaking. This is just absolute perfection. I don't care if it's on theme or not, honestly. This is beyond. I hope that every in a tux at this event talks to Wisdom, because they need more of what? Wisdom. I could stare at this for the rest of the day. There's just no words. This is perfection. Next up we have Eva Chen, and I understand where she's going with this, of like the disintegration and the dyeing and all of that different thing. The fact that you can see the skirt underneath all of this and at the thigh is just disrupting, and I think kind of ruins the whole thing. I think if the dress underneath went all the way down to her ankles, this would be phenomenal. I really do. I think that that would change this entire moment. I do think it's interesting. I just hate the cutoff of the skirt where it is. I think it's extremely distracting. I'll say that this is on theme, considering that it feels more on theme than most of them. It just also kind of feels cheapened or made basic because of the skirt underneath. Next up we have Lil Nas X. I love this, but I would love it lounging on my couch on 50 milligrams. I don't want to see any more H&M on the runway. Oh my god, I swear to god, I'm wearing the pants! I'm wearing the same thing! Who wore it best? I mean, don't answer that, because I know it's not me, but shut the up. I think he looks hot, but it really sort of ends there. Next up we have Brie Larson, who is wearing Prada, I believe. This is really, really horrible. The only redeeming part of this outfit is that I totally remembered it's summer, and now that I have family dinners and we're outside, I need to get those things that are like mesh to put over the dishes so no flies get into it. Thank you, Brie. Next up we have Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia Erivo, no. Oh, Cynthia. This is putting the Y in DIY. DIY. I made a Beyonce costume for a friend's 30th birthday that looked more put together than those. This is really baffling. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. This is my first Met Gala filming in my home studio, which has no windows. Guys, I feel like I'm going insane. Like, what are any of these outfits anymore? I'm an archived garment because I am coming undone. Oh, perfect timing. We have Keke Palmer, whose outfit literally looks like it's becoming undone. Honestly, my knightess in shining armor. Thank God for Keke Palmer because I think she looks great and I think that this falls somewhere on theme. I mean, I don't even know what the theme was if it came up and beat the shit out of me. I'm going crazy. Next up, we have Ariana Grande in custom Loewe. This whole corset bodice part is mother of pearl, and I think that this is really beautiful. I think it's very simple, but I mean, at least it looks polished. My God, Cynthia Erivo. Oh, baby girl. Next up, we have Elle Fanning, who looks like she has two little birdies on her shoulder helping cellophane her right up. I think this dress is absolutely beautiful. I think it's so fun, and I think it really was just executed gorgeously. I feel like this is one of those dresses this year on the carpet that's like really referencing being a dress that will have to be preserved or like won't be able to be worn again. At least that's what I'm telling myself, and that's enough. Next up, we have this person who I am so sorry, I don't know why your name isn't here. What I do know is that you ate this up. I don't think I can make it clear enough. I don't know if this is on theme anymore. I don't know if any of these people know what's on theme anymore. But this to me is giving a full fantasy start to finish. It's giving a nice Baroque vibe. There's shit flying off of it. I mean, party! Yeah, I mean, it's like hard to judge this when I'm thinking about literal Chris Hemsworth looking like Oppenheim Group's newest realtor. Next up, we have Kylie Minogue in Diesel, and this mwah, mwah, mwah. This Diesel collection was made for this theme. All you didn't need to be getting Diesel for Coachella. What you should have been doing is getting Diesel for the Met Gala. The way that Diesel uses distressing and sheer fabric, it's just absolutely genius. Glenn Martins is a genius. I think she looks great. I also did think she looked like Hilary Duff, which begs the question, why is Hilary Duff not here? Next up, we have Jennie Kim from Blackpink, I believe, and she is winning the I don't give a f war. Like, girl, what is this? Like, don't get me wrong, she looks gorgeous, she looks stunning, but truly, if you took away the train, she would be a figure skater at the Olympics. And listen, K-pop army, don't come for me, okay? It's just the truth. Next up, we have Natasha Poonawalla, and I think that this is mesmerizing. I think that this is absolutely gorgeous. I'm assuming that this is Margiela. All of this distressing is exactly what I think of some of these archive dresses looking like if anybody tried wearing them. I'm not getting a single thing about Garden of Time, but honestly, I don't care because I like the look. Here's our good friend, the bar. He got lower? That's crazy. Next up, we have Rita Ora, who is wearing what I would believe people with hippie parents would call a door. I'm sorry, why is she giving like bead curtain that people put across the door? That's all I'm seeing. I'm not gonna lie though, for someone who has anti-serve running through their veins, she looks kind of good. She is also wearing a fucking bead curtain. There's enough people here where I'm tempted to remake some of these. I mean, like, this is one Amazon purchase. That's it. Next up, we have Georgina Chapman, and I think that this is absolutely exquisite, and she looks stunning. I think the dress is very clearly giving Garden of Time, with the dress being a giant flower. I don't know if it's referencing a specific dress, but this definitely feels like a gown I would see in a fashion history book. I don't know why, and I don't know how to explain it, but that's how I feel. And that's just how I feel, okay? Next up, we have Christian Cohen and Sam Smith, and this makes me visibly upset because I will never have that life I dreamed of with Christian Cohen. All I've learned in this video is that no one knows what the theme is, and I am down bad. I have to say, I don't think this is anything special. I will say, I think the idea of the rose being like a needle holding fabric in place is really interesting, and I thought it was really smart. Otherwise, this looks exactly like what conservatives are fighting against. Which, guys, we have to vote this year, please. Next up, we have Kris Jenner, who looks like Kris Jenner attending the Met Gala every single year. Wearing head to toe white and making all of your daughter's names start with K. This is what we in the industry call a choice. Next up, we have Jack Harlow. No. Next up we have Gigi Hadid, who is wearing Tom Brown, and it looks like the jacket is falling off to reveal a dress. If there wasn't a giant flower over her flower, I would not get a garden theme from this at all. In fact, I would think, wow, this is a gorgeous wedding dress. I mean, I think she looks gorgeous. I love how graphic this all looks. I don't hate this at all. It obviously has the garden theme. I'm not living, but I'm not dying. Wait, does that mean the same thing? Next up we have Kendall Jenner, who literally looks like she is giving a Cher meets the Spice Girls. I think she looks good. I think it would be hard for her to look bad. I just don't get it. With each picture I see from this Met Gala red carpet, I know the theme less and less. Like, I am sitting here straight up in my basement with Stockholm Syndrome. I'm like, okay, yes, that's the theme. You look great. Next up we have Donatella Versace, and I think this dress is really beautiful in terms of reawakening of fashion. It feels like a dress that was pulled out of an archive. It looks like it's disintegrating. And then there's the hair that she's had since 6 in the morning. I mean, what the fuck? I think it's fine. I think I'm reaching in most of these. I think this green washes her skin out. This is just all bad. Next up we have Sarah Paulson. And when I said I wanted Sarah Paulson in American Horror Story, I did not mean this, because this is an American Horror Story. It's very coquette of her, which sadly is not the theme. Thank you so much, Sarah Paulson. You can scream your way out. Next up we have Lana Del Rey and Alexander McQueen. Now, I don't know if this is an archived McQueen gown. I don't know if it's a reference to an old McQueen. I think it would be a lot better without all of this netting. I really do think otherwise it would be a beautiful, beautiful dress. I don't feel like the netting adds anything or really takes it to the next level of the theme. Yeah, no wonder your summer times are filled with sadness. You're living in a butterfly net. Next up we have Charlie XCX. Charlie, you ate this one out. Charlie looks phenomenal. If we're going by the rules of distress, she hit the nail on the motherfucking head here. Man, I feel like I just had a nice serving of poppers with this. Woo! This is beautiful. I love this. It feels very Charlie XCX while also looking like a gown that was pulled out of an archive and is literally falling apart. I will say I'm not getting much of garden at all unless someone TP'd her garden, which in that case, spot on. Next up we have Nicole Kidman, who looks absolutely gorgeous. She said, "We come to this place." I have a bunch of fashion books, and this reminds me so much of a gown from a Balenciaga book I have. And with her being a Balenciaga girly, I feel like this might be a Balenciaga reference to Cristobal Balenciaga, which I am living for. I think she looks gorgeous. I think this garment is beautiful. Nicole Kidman really is the face of AMC. AMC in this situation meaning a marvelous Caucasian. Next up we have Kim Kardashian, who's wearing Margiela by John Galliano, I believe. Before I get to the outfit, Kim, will you please fire whoever's doing your hair? Her hair looks thirstier and more dead than I feel right now, and that is saying something. Her silhouette in this dress, she said, nothing's going to waste. Literally, there is no waste. If this weren't Margiela, I would be so confused by the sweater, but that seems to be like a very Margiela thing to do, is have like a knit right there. I think she looks great. I don't understand this in the context of the theme literally at all. I love it because it's Margiela, and that's it. Next up we have Amelia Gray, and I don't know how the fuck she got to wear this, but I mean, she wins. She wins. This dress is either a replica of one of the dresses that's in the exhibit debuting here, or it's an exact one from the exhibit debuting here. Either way, she hit the garden theme and the reawakening theme. Amelia, I don't know how you did it. Also, Amelia, I hate the shoes. Next up we have Kylie Jenner, who is in archive Givenchy. She just looks like every other year where she wears a white wedding dress. I'm just like, okay, this just feels so boring. This outfit is as monotone as her fucking voice. Next up we have Doja Cat. This is exactly how I feel at this point of this video. Naked in wet clothing, and I am on the verge of sobbing glitter, and I don't even know where it came from. The most garden I can reach for here is that she's like a statue in a garden, which, okay, fair point. I think if she was gonna do that, she should have done like a concrete sort of texture all over, but it's fine. Next up we have Demi Lovato, and she looks like AI. Unfortunately, this is real. This is me. This looks not only cheap, but also disheveled. And lastly, should never have been put on and or worn in public. I mean, in this picture alone, it looks like the dress is holding her at gunpoint. Girl, just agree to whatever they want and get through it. This is just all around terrible. But yay, at least she has flowers hot glued to just random parts of this dress. Next up, we have Ed Sheeran. I actually almost just peed myself. Next up, we have Michelle Yeoh, who is just the cutest little Hershey kiss I've ever seen. Unless this dress is actually tinfoil and she rips it apart to reveal another dress underneath. I don't understand the theme of this quite literally whatsoever. I think she looks great. I also just cannot stop seeing a Hershey kiss. Yeah, I'm sorry. The person who made this should have only been seeing Hershey kisses. How did they not? Next up, we have Brooklyn Beckham, and that was Brooklyn Beckham. Next up, we have Sydney Sweeney, who is serving up like goth garden bride. Honestly, I love it. I think the black hair wig with the gloves is really dark and mysterious with a really beautiful dress. This dress is giving a vintage Christian Dior vibe, if I had to guess. It's nothing wowing me, you know? I think she looks great and the vision is there. It just isn't getting like my engine revving. Jesus Christ, I'm making car references. This is how you know someone doing a fashion roast is suffering in silence. Next up, we have Anak Yai, and I think that this is like full fantasy head to toe. I don't understand one fucking bit the connection to the theme, and quite honestly, I don't care. This is exciting, this is sexy, this is cool. This also does really feel like more of a Met Gala after party kind of outfit, but compared to the we've seen tonight, I'll take it. Next up, we have Camila Cabello, who's putting the O in Cabello. I know she has a new song out that's like, I love it, I love it, I don't love it at all. I mean, this dress looks like she found it as an Instagram ad. The holes in the bottom of the dress, go into an Urban Outfitters and look at something that has holes in it, cut the exact same way. The rose and the ice cube, that was cool. Good job. This is just so bad. I'm like annoyed. Next up, we have Sabrina Carpenter, who feels like she's giving an ode or a nod to dresses of the past. So I guess there's like a reawakening of fashion there. If we really want to and want to cross your eyes, it looks like a flower. She looks traditionally beautiful and glamorous. It just is bland. Next up, we have Lizzo. I'm really sorry, but Lizzo looks like what I would describe to a stenographer a diva cup looking like. I really don't understand what's happening here at all. I'm getting the garden theme, and that really is barely there. Is she a pitcher plant? Like, I'm really trying to meet you halfway here, Lizzo. I don't get it, and I don't think it looks good. Next up, we have Nicki Minaj, and she hit the garden theme on the head. Look at those flowers. If I knew Nicki was coming to the Met Gala, I would have expected something more out of her than this. I think it's interesting, and I think it's cool, and I think it's very visually stimulating. On top of the obvious garden theme, I think she really hit the reawakening of fashion, because I think she literally pulled this from JoJo Siwa's archive. Next up, we have Kwana Chasing Horse, and I think that this is maybe one of the most beautiful dresses I've ever seen in my life. I think that this is truly gorgeous. This to me feels like a dress I would see in a fashion history book. She looks absolutely flawless. Probably the best red carpet look I've ever seen her in. I think that this is just absolutely perfection. Oh my God, let me refresh Vogue.com because I think we've actually reached the end. Zendaya has a whole other outfit? Wait. What? Okay, last up, we have Zendaya again. The first look, honestly, it did the opposite of grow on me. I kind of was just sort of like, with it. This look? You ate this one up. Oh, you said there's a garden on my head and there's a reference, I'm sure, on my body. I think this look is like chills. Actual chills. What a fun little ending that was, Zendaya. Holy shit. Now, I'm not gonna do who I thought was the worst dress because that simply would be just another 20 minutes. I'm trying to think of everybody we went through today, but Wisdom K was a standout, Nicole Kidman was a standout, Kwana Chasing Horse was a standout, Zoe Saldana was a standout for the complete wrong reason, and Tyla. I think Tyla was like probably one of the best for this theme. All in all, that is the 2024 Met Gala Roast review. Absolute natural disaster. Be sure to let me know down below of who you thought was best and worst dressed. I'm very curious, and if there's anybody I missed, be sure to comment down below and maybe I'll do a second Patreon video. But there will be more looks on patreon.com/Chris Klemens, so go be sure to head on over there if you want. Also be sure to like the video and subscribe and turn on the bell if you haven't. Just, I mean, please make this video worth it. I'm exhausted. Oh my God, my dogs need dinner. I mean, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, my dogs really need dinner. Alrighty, I'm gonna go, and this is perfect timing because it's 10 o'clock and most of these outfits put me to sleep. So, ta-ta for now. Ta-ta for now.